This is Sean Sharon coming to you from Fort Worth, Texas. Recently moved from Columbus, Ohio. It's been a while since I put one out there on YouTube, so I wanted to drop this one. It's entitled The Sovereign King. I realized that as night has become day and I'm able to open my eyes, one more morning has just arrived for me to do better than the day I did before. For it says that his word shall not void or return empty. And for so long I used to turn up, gas myself up, filled myself up, walked around unled. Simply put, I was empty. For each morning I left my front door, the Grim Reaper would open my car door and ride shotgun with a shotgun pointed at my chest, reminding Christ of my previous sins and foretelling of the ones that I would soon indulge in. And if Christ ever chose to listen and touch and agree, no seatbelt could protect me from the death that I deserved. For so long I turned my back on the one who took whips on his back, beaten, spit on, and attacked. Blood poured from his body as they broke his kneecaps as he hung from the cross to add back what man willfully chose to subtract in the Garden of Eden, the connection with God. And as Christians, we often judge others, though it says to judge not, because we feel that our own imperfections lessen when someone who doesn't know God steps in the room and takes a seat, forgetting that we are all his sheep and once were just meat to the lion that seeks to devour the meek. So we greet each other with Judas kisses on the cheek, because to those living lost we refuse to even speak, collecting our 30 pieces of silver for our silence. Silent about his grace and mercy, but outspoken on the things others received that we feel they didn't deserve. Never addressing the naked truth, how well do you serve God? And I won't speak on no one else. Instead, I'll choose to speak about myself. Because even I used to complain about the cards that I was dealt. Because I was too face down to see that he flopped salvation on day 3, took my turn at the cross, and was waiting for me at the river. But I was embarrassed because I'm a sinner. With male as my gender, supposed to be made in his image, but I didn't reflect the sender. But the sender, in his sovereignty, readdressed and blood sealed this airmark sinner, so now both male and female can now be delivered. But instead, I still chose to hide his light in me in the same closet where my suits and pants hung, where my sweaters and shirts were folded, behind the new white J's for my feet, never realizing that that light is in my closet and J is not on my feet. Which means that if I choose a different path and really choose to live a life that was never meant for me to have, I am knowingly choosing to receive God's wrath. And let's not even address the ways I used to spend cash. I used to treat the Alpha and Omega like a woman who walked the streets. I took comfort in his company when I was afraid and alone. But when I felt his use was over, I paid my tithes to get him to flee. I said I paid my tithes not as offering, but to get him to leave so I wouldn't feel so bad when I knowingly sinned. At the same time, made sure I couldn't be accused of robbing him. I was the worst kind of Christian. Not cold enough to see his breath or hot enough to feel the burns on my flesh, but the lukewarm kind he said he would spew from out his mouth and receive the worst kind of death. But then my pastor reminded me that my burdens were too heavy. And I was pregnant with a gift similar to the Virgin Mary, not his mother, but the bride of Christ. I needed to drop my maiden name of Miscarry. And even though I used to miscarry his gift, I was still born into the truth that his love is rock steady. So now my vision is much clearer, so I can see the Walking Dead and dancing ghouls from Thriller, watching my mouth and my reflection as if I'm speaking in the mirror. Stop reciting monkey bars and decided to go Rilla. For the King of Kings and Lord of Lords, my God forever reigns. Walk this earth as a man and die harder than John McClane, so that I can live free. So yes, he broke every chain. I said he broke every chain, broke every chain, broke every chain. So whether a pawn, a rook, a knight, a bishop, or even a queen, my God reigns supreme over everything. There's one love in this life, and I will die to protect my sovereign king.